Hello, everybody, and today's going to be a little bit of a personal day as far as a little bit of explanation about me, why I smoke, what smoking actually does for me. That's a question a lot of people have to people who smoke. You know, what type of depressive issues you have? Well, it's not always depressive, people. I mean, the typical reason to start drugs is, yeah, you get to that, I just don't give a fuck anymore, you know? Or you're trying to fit in with the crowd, or. But then there's people that just want a new perspective of reality. Me, I started off being a depressive user. But, one of my ex-girlfriends broke up. It was mutual. I'm not going to say it was either one, and I'm not being in denial either. It really was mutual. She cheated on me. I wanted to break up anyway. She was tired of me being always mad. So it was like, I never was angry mad. I mean, I was freaking pissed, but I was never angry mad, not physically angry ever. But it's like, really. See, the thing was, I wanted to break up first, In my head at the moment when I wanted to break up, you know what? This is a real relationship. I know this is going to fucking hurt, but you know what? This is worse. Being with you is a lot worse than just dealing without you. I got a lot more to lose when leaving you, but, than the average person, but you know what? I don't care. You know what she says to me? Now I don't have the one I need. Yeah, well, even Meatloaf had 2 out of 3. And sadly, you don't want me. And that's kind of the important one. Want and love. No woman can need you, you know. They don't want you. Why be with you? Because they need you. And need is the greed one. That's when you gotta worry about. And so she tried fighting for me. She even chased me around the school. I was like, alright. This is over. One or the other, man. Like, clearly you're going through all this effort for me. Alright. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything bad, but, that was the peak, That was what really made it worse. You're fighting for me, and then it's like, you're still going doing what you're doing. And it wasn't just that. It was a bunch of other stuff, too. It was little things, but... And there are some aspects of my life I think I really do need to take it easy on smoking a wee bit. But, it's like an alcoholic, man. You gotta unwind the nerves. And Bud, unlike drinking, drinking kind of loosens them up a bit. Kind of erases it a little bit. This actually kind of makes you think through it. And it's kind of contradicting, but you enjoy it. But I smoke to motivate, because when I smoke, it brings me to a state of being 14 again, and it reminds me of... It kind of activates that part of your brain. What motivated you when you were 14, really? That's kind of what marijuana does. It kind of takes you back to that time. You still have your mindset, you're completely aware still, but it's like... What motivated you then is now your motivation now. Like, say it was video games all night with the broskies, or going outside doing something, that's kind of what it encourages you to do, or if you're just chilling staring at your wall, it like pauses you. It's like a movie. It pauses you and you're stuck on this screen, but it's like the people watching, they fast forward, and it's like you go from this point 3 minutes into the movie, and then you skip like to 10 minutes in the movie, and it's like, whoa, what just happened? Nothing. I don't remember anything that just happened. I just know it was this. I blinked. I was bored as heck. It felt like hours. Or it felt like 20 minutes of boredom. I woke up. Dang, 10 hours gone by. I know my math was off, but you get the gist of it. I don't even know the head to be able to get through this next part, man. This next part gets pretty heavy, really. Let's open that up some. I hate it when it's like just ash. But oh, well, sneaks up on you. Native and ash, but sneaks up on you. But when I was 14, what motivated me? This is how you actually get to the root of your problem, or the root of, why you feel the way you feel. You actually got to be admitting with yourself, When I was 14, I would always crush on this one girl. Her name was China May. And I'm only saying this again because that video didn't upload. But, and I finally got most of my videos uploaded. But, how is she a motivation? Whenever I smoke, I always feel like I can feel her presence. What effect did she have on my life? Probably the first person who really had nothing to do with my life had the most impact on my life. Never really talked, never really hung out. It was just a hyperopic crush, it was like I only went to school. It was like every day of my life I wanted to die, but it's like, it's only bad because I still feel that way, But it's like, I would always like see her there, That would be my day, that'd be like, whenever I wake up for school, man, I don't want to go to school. But then again, I missed out on seeing China May. It was weird. It was definitely an infatuative crush, very strong obsession, and I knew that then. I would always write about, infatuation and everything. It's like I knew it was infatuation. But even when I moved she was always like the subconscious being, though. The subconscious thought. Like, I never really remembered what she looked like, when it came time to actually dream about her, I was like, man, what does she look like? I never really actually thought of her. I never even really stared at her in class, so if you thought I was a creep, staring at you probably, or if you thought it was flattering, think again, actually. I had my head down more. I was too busy trying to, peek at you and then close my eyes and picture you because it would last longer, and suits my imagination a little bit better anyway. But, it was always the subconscious thought, and it's like she could not be around, and I'll just be 100% in on whatever I'm doing, It's like I have this in the back of my mind. I think China May would be impressed. I think it would be cool, It was like my subconscious motivator. It's like she was so on my mind that I never really even thought of her, though. She was so embedded in there. It's like even I lost her in my mind, People say, you're lost in my mind. It's like, no, man, you don't know what that means. You're saying she's stuck in your mind. She's always on your mind. She ain't lost in there. You ain't trying to get her out. You're trying to leave her in there, honestly. But it's like, well, yeah, you're trying to take her out so you can have the physical version, huh? Do some Dumbledore shit, man. But, she motivated me, and that was like my muse. She was my muse. Inspiration. She's literally all my early on workings, I had this in the back of my mind. It's like the physical part of her, she is nice. I mean, top notch. But, I mean, as far as, I'm grateful I didn't really date her then. If she does want to give me a chance in the future, that's amazing. That's perfect. But as far as, I don't think I would have made it this far in life if, I screwed up back in the day. I was immature. Sex wasn't even on my mind. If I did have a dream like that, it would always be after the fact, oh, I have a wife and kids. Yeah, I didn't even really have any dreams of the kids really too much, it's just that thought, that's the maturity level there. It's like, but you don't really understand what goes on and what you know. And that's what people don't understand. And then you could understand it, but it's like, yeah, but you don't actually know why it's so frustrating. Or something like that. But, I would just, that would be me. But as far as, because, I never ever had her physically. I never even held her hand. I never hugged her. I never even really talked to her. Short utterances, really. But, as far as emotionally goes, she really did have a lot. Every time, even when I was away from her and I knew, she's way out of my league, we're never getting together. But, it's that fact that, there might even be someone like China May for me. Someone exactly like her. And, I've only felt this feeling one other time. I just felt like, it's like on the inside you're calm, how your body normally feels physically as far as, what temperature goes, you feel normal inside, but then it's like whenever she's around the outside, your heart starts racing. But that's the thing, my heart didn't really race too much either. I mean, it would, because like kind of horny, but then it's like it calms down and it's like, alright, she's here. Man, I don't know if I could have made it without her, man. And I tell you what, I had the worst days at school when she wasn't there, man. I never even stared at her, but, just like knowing she was there, that's what made my days, man. So, emotionally, I definitely know what she means to me. If I had to tell her what she means to me, why do you love me? I could say that, I know, pretty darn thoroughly what I feel about her. And, Anda. Anaconda. But, I think now, on top of having that emotional bond with her that I do, I think if she were to want to start a physical, personal relationship, I think I would be more than well matured enough for that. I'd like to say, I got a steady job, I have land, I have all intentions of saving up money so I can just start this business already, which I got everything in line. I just need to actually go out and buy the crud, I got the land, I got the potential money, I already got the know-how, I got employees I want to start immediately. I got at least like 4, which is what I needed. I just need the money right now financially, but, yeah, you think, well, if you spend less, well, let me tell you something. I'm not saying I need a drug to feel great, I can just think of China May and it worked just as good, but, there's still that here and now element, too. I think physically, I would be alright with China May, as far as me being calm throughout my life, being motivated properly. In a sense of direction, like where I want to go in life, motivation. But, and that's kind of what marijuana makes me feel like, really. It allows me to tap in, because she's so lost in my mind at this point, because I don't even, it's been like 6 years, man. since we last talked, man. It's like a love story right there. That's love story length time, you know. Nah, I think I still got 4 more years. Damn. I think it's at least 10, right? 20, 30. Heck, sometimes just a few months or 5 years, you know. But definitely well over a year. Well over 5 actually. But you know, that's what she always meant to me. And you know, I still feel that way to this day, and that's what, like 10 years almost? 9, 10 years I felt this way. Still do. And it's just as strong as it was then. Well, a little bit stronger now. But y'all just don't understand, you know. That one person, when you see that one person, you'll know. I'm not gonna say she was my love at first sight. Definitely not. In fact, you know, my friend Andrew, I always thought he was just trying to, you know, that was, you know, it was first starting first grade when I even knew about her, you know. It's like we were in the same class. That was when we shared the same class for all of our activities, you know. Math, science, whatever. But you know, that was when you like her, KISSI, you know, it was that bullshit. So I thought he was just deterring, you know, laughter from him to me, you know, by saying, hey, you know, Jenna May looks kind of cute, huh? He was the one who had a hard crush on her, and I kind of didn't understand, why would you even want to open up that Pandora's box to, you know, what if I actually do fall in love with her, you know? And then I do date her, and then you're like, fuck. Probably because he knew I wasn't going to do anything either. But I don't know. Or maybe he was doing that because she kind of did like me back, and, you know, she was, you know, that was my best friend. That was also when you went through the best friend to, like, drop hints, and the best friend was actually good at keeping secrets. Oh, I don't know, man. Even though, dude, the girl of your dreams just fucking said she loved you, too. But I'm not going to say it because she told me not to. She just said to do this. Yeah, I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Just tell me, man. I'll play it cool unless it's like something serious, you know. I'll play it cool. You know, our friends would always laugh at me walking down the hall, and I realized that's such middle school behavior. Not many people do that these days when you're adults, but they're a lot more chill. But yeah, it's like you can tell because they try to mold to your mood. It's like if you're chill, it's like, oh hey, yeah. From the girl. If you're spunky, she's like, yeah, I know, right? Just trying to, like, what? Copy routine? Like, what the hell, man? If a guy does it, it's ridicule. If you do it, it's you being flirty. What the hell? You know, I remember when I would try to talk to her, she would always put a comb with her hair over her face, you know, over her mouth, and just look down at the floor and do that. Literally, that's what she would do. Like, I don't know if she would remember. If she's watching this, she'd probably think, yeah, you wish, motherfucker. Well, no, this, I swear, every time I try to talk to you, China Man, this is what you would do. I still don't have long enough hair, man. Man, it is, your hair didn't even look that long, but jeez. That takes a lot of hair. Maybe my face was out more. But she would literally do this. Let me show you what a feet would do, too. This is what a feet would do. This little side to side, kind of looking down, slow turns, like with a comb and her hair over her mouth. Face bright as fucking red. Fucking red. Shouldn't be swearing, not on that. But it's like, so, you know, I don't know. You know, it just never happened. You know, I wasn't at that state of mind. You know, she was an introverted character, I was an introverted character. That just didn't work out, you know. It wasn't like we eventually come out of our shell. That's not that story. My story is we just never got together. This is the real world, bitches. You gotta man up and you gotta ask her out, man. man. But yeah. Plus, I doubt she would like me anyway. I smoke now. Not many women like a guy who smokes marijuana, really. As bad as it is, all the absolute goody two-shoe ones that are like absolutely perfect, that kind of seem snobby, but actually they love you more than anything in the world type character of women. You know, it's like they all care if you smoke, but it's like that one careless girl that's just like there with you to the end, like, you know, I think this dude's hot, but I'm just sticking with you because you actually seem to actually fucking care about me, which is true, you know. So it's one of those, you know. We just never got together, you know. I guess I do suffer some anxiety, if I had to put that as a term for myself. Some depressive issues on that note, you know. It kind of hurts, you know. I still write poems about her, you know. I go out and do that. I even worked on a Flower Dragon Part 2 poem. I wrote a Flower Dragon Part 1. It's all the real reason is because it's just my pure thought of her, and I might read one for y'all. I do have one. I should have two manifested, but but I've even had poems up to a page long, solid page, and they're like full on hardcore 12-word sentences, you know. But no, these were 2 pages long. These would take 2 pages. And my newer work has shorter lines. My older work had longer lines. Really, like I said, 12. My newer one, Fly Dragon Part 2, has definitely shorter lines. But some don't take up multiple lines. Yeah, I would write shit that took up multiple lines too. But, you know, it's still just as raw. Yeah, I knew that out. And, you know, I wrote them all about her, you know. I could write literally 2 pages. I literally spent one night writing 3 hours about her. 3 hours. And this was like at like a.m. Like past 12. Past 12:30. You know, it was like past 1 o'clock even, man. I stayed up all night writing about her. Just because I wanted to. And thinking about her made me want to. And I do plan on getting that book published as soon as I come up with the gosh darn money. You know, if it ain't one thing, it's the other. Man, I'm $10 short. And even then, you know, I haven't been working lately, and it's going to cost... They said I could pay a monthly payment, you know, when it comes to startup fees and crud, but it's like... Jesus, man. I just don't have that kind of money. I mean, I sent it in. I thought it was cool. You know, they said, we'll give you appraisals after the fact. Alright. Couple grand to publish a book? Jeez. I figured it'd be like a couple hundred, and y'all were only gonna do like some internet stuff, you know? I didn't plan on actually going in actual stores. And that's what most of it was, you know? They made like internet thing. I mean, it was just a book of poems. It was only 13 pages, you know? It's the I Am series. They just titled it I Am. Even though I put I Am series. I wanted to emphasize that it was a series. Because I wanted each, you know, this was I Am. This would have been like Obsession series. And it would have just had all the poems named after women. You know? Because I have poems named after girls. Let's face it, we all do that. Oh, Christy. Lucy. The daughter of the devil. I don't know. That was a good show, really. But China May, she definitely kept me sustainable, emotionally and mentally. If you drool, that's how you can tell some good shit. But no, if China May does like me, I would totally go. I would definitely, talk to her, I'd definitely try to get to know her a little bit now, She's got a job or something. She got any new pets? I don't know. I literally know nothing about her. I don't even know if they would call her, man, to do my own psychological test, see if we'd even work out. All I know is, man, I'm a Latter-day Saint man, and I would probably divorce my wife for her. That's how serious that would be. I don't have a wife, but I'm saying we all know that's how serious, Latter-day Saints can get, man. But I mean, there's stuff I don't even come clean about, man. Whoa, that just moved. But, it's just like bumped up and down the bed, the mattress. But, no, I still feel the way I did back then, and I didn't really start feeling anything until 4th grade, believe it or not, even though I looked at her at, like, 1st grade for the first time. But, I just wasn't mature for a relationship at that point, not up here, Taking older hits, man. That's an old school hit, man, for me. I would usually pack a bowl, tug it about 2 times, give it a few minutes, tug it about 4, take it about 2 or 4 more times, take it a total of 4 to 6 times. I would pack the bowl full, though. I'd pack it completely full, and I would just kind of toke on it, give it a minute, 2 more, maybe 4, depending on the quality of my butt at the time. But all I can say, man, was my first time was my best time, because you're not scared to hit it, you just go straight up. While you're sucking, you're inhaling, you're just going for it. You're not doing trying to cool it off in your mouth. You're just going for it, and that's what you gotta do. You just gotta go for it, man, and I wish I knew that with China May, man. That actually does frustrate me a little bit. I'm not really so much depressed anymore. I'm more frustrated about it. It's like, but then you come to acceptance, man. 5 stages. There's 5 stages of libido. Why not grief, So, 5 stages, yeah. But, it's like, well, there's 5 stages of grief. Why not 5 stages of libido, you know what I'm saying? 5 cool milestones. That's really all they were. It's like, he wasn't wrong. I mean, that's what happens. Those are the phases you go through empirically, in that order, yeah. No matter how hard you try to learn something first, you yourself are not going, psychologically but you physically don't understand that actual physical or psychological change, in behavior of understanding of the oral stage, the phallic stage, why are they all sexual terms, oral, phallic, anal, sexual, you know what I'm saying? Like, those are the stage names. I'm like, why are they all sexual? One is just about teething, oral, I get that, but that's like, still, in the context of the other words, anal, when you start learning about bowel movements, yes, but that's also urination too. So, exactly what, Sexual, that's obvious. You know, we expected that one to be some kind of nasty one, you know, puberty. We expected that. Phallic. Alright, first of all, this also applies to girls, too. Let's not forget Freud. Phallic is definitely a male-specific term right there, you know? Unless phallic had some archaic meaning, you know, that applied to women, too. They were just all sexual. Even the name itself, the 5 stages of libido, that's a sexual term, even though it's a term for energy, really. I mean, it's your motivation, too, you know, so weed is definitely a sexual thing. Only time I've ever owed, man, like... I have never understood why men would always be like, yo, dude, got our old faces on, like... I'm like, yeah, what the fuck? And then it's like, you get a good mega, man. You get that mega, you know, while you're doing it, it's like, oh. It's weird. I'm like, oh, shit, I understand now. It's amazing, man, what you figure out, man. It's like, when you truly understand, you will know you understand, and exactly about what, too. So don't worry, people. Don't try to stress about it. When you understand, you will know you understand. Like, no matter what the situation is, the second you have something in your brain that can relate this to that moment, it will do that in a second. It's like your brain is subconsciously on standby. Well, it is kind of. But, you know, and it knows. Which makes you think, if your brain is so smart... Wow, what the fuck kind of sentence is that? You know, how come for everyday things it lets you forget? Is that because it's not wasting its time on that? It's worrying about trying to memorize and understand everything? That it puts itself on this special thing. It says, you know what, the front half can memorize some stuff, let it do the work. You know what I'm saying? Is that why we always see the front of our brains get huge and not the back of our brain on TV shows for super smart people? It's always a smaller bottom, but you know, subconscious, I would think, is on the bottom too, you know, but we always see that. Well, some people have the back too, so you know, it's like front and back, but I'm saying for the people who just show them, like, man, my head feels nice. This feels nice. I'm getting it all in my bowl. Yo, is there a woman out there who will just do this? Legit. This is like nice, and it might actually get out my calyx. This is nice. Yo, just doing this, peeps, it like messes the fuck out of your hair, but for me, it like makes it neater because I have calyx. So no matter how hard you try, in fact, the more you do, you know, you do weird shit like that, or get your hands under there, you're actually pulling out my calyx, you know? And that's what I was always known for. It's like, you can't mess up my hair, babe. Yo, there's this kid, Akeem, man. Oh, man, I like that nigga, man. A fucking terrorist, man. He looked fucking... his name was Akeem, man. He is a terrorist. Man, he was chill, man. He was in middle school. He was like fucking... He looked like fucking that dude from Sanjay. He looked like Sanjay from Sanjay and Craig. You know, that was his head, man, and his hair. Legit. Man, Akeem. Man, I think his name was Akeem. I hope that's what it was. Man, that was a chill dude, man. I wish I could go back and ride T11 again. If I had one wish, it'd be to go back and ride T11. Those were some amazing times, man. T11. Miss Robertson. No, Miss Roberts. Yeah, Miss Roberts. To Miss Roberts, who got fired because... Well, no offense, Miss Roberts. Some people just don't need to be driving a bus as much as you have to. And on top, I mean, come on, Miss Roberts, you needed a break. I'm not saying you driving was sloppy. I'm saying you could definitely tell you were tired a little bit. I mean, you gotta think, Miss Roberts, she drove that bus to and from the school. She drove the kids to church on Wednesday. She did some other stuff too. I mean, on top of that, she also had to do field trips and stuff. I mean, in Georgia, I don't know how it is up there, but a lot of people just drive the bus as like a regular vehicle, man. I mean, really, you kind of have to, because it's like the second you go home and you leave to go to the store, you know, ah, dang it, now it's, I might as well have taken the bus, because now the kids got to go home, you know. You know, by the time you actually go to the store, it's that time, you know. It's like, dang, you know, I'll just take the bus. Nah, they don't do that too often, but you definitely see them out more on school days, even on weekends some days. But like I said, you know, the bus drivers down here, you know, they did everything, man. Bus drivers did everything, man. Respect to the bus barn, man. To the bus barn. This one's for the bus barn. And before it burns out too quickly, this is for Miss Roberts. I want the final one to go to you. Best bus driver ever, man. T11, man. There were some cool people on T11, man. It's sad. I miss those days more than the times I was with my ex-girlfriend. Lost my virginity to her, too. That's awful. I'd rather go back to frickin' T11 when I was a frickin' loner without the beauties of without the without the majesty of reefer. I'd rather go back to that time. Before I was into anything, I took life on sober, people. I cried myself to sleep every night dreaming about China May, man. I'd rather go back to that time before Adderall, too. I was hitting school head on, too. That, you know, I'd rather go back to that time. You know, those were some of the best years of my life, really. My first few years down here in Georgia, man. Georgia changes you, man. The South changes you. My first few years down here, they were some of the best years of my life. Sad, you know. I'm not gonna say sad, you know. I have to admit, I had a real teenager experience down here, you know. I got into a little bit of trouble, not too much, just some. You outspeak yourself in a tone you didn't understand was a tone with teachers, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, grandma, don't you get that tone with me. But I'm not getting a tone, grandma. Don't you talk back to me. I'm just trying to help you understand what's going on. Oh, God, I can only imagine what talking about understand. Oh, she knows everything, motherfucker. She don't need to understand it. She just knows you're up to something. But, just take it now while it's something stupid and small, because when later on it might be bigger than you thought, and, you know, you might get away with it more like, it's like, I already got in trouble with him today. Why would he risk getting in trouble again? I know it was you this time. Y'all take turns. Evil take turns, too. Wish y'all would take turns on y'all video games. I don't know. But no, those were the best years of my life, man. Go down south, go to school for a couple years, man. I'm glad I spent high school down here. I actually experienced the full teenager experience, you know. Drama, actual drama, man. I can't tell you how much of that shit goes on down here. Like, fuck with drama, man. I thought it was bad up north, but it's like, dude, out of proportion. You think it was the north almost. That's how much drama. Down south is your stereotypical life, literally, from like how you eat as a family to frickin' yeah. So a lot of people down here, mainly your Latter-day Saints or your really classy people, they eat at a table, man. I mean, there are some families that just fuck, man. Eat whenever you fucking feel like it. If you feel hungry at 1 today, go eat at 1 a.m., man. Feel hungry at 8, go eat at 8. You know what I'm saying? You got everything, every possible aspect of life, even your freaking northerners down here. You got like a taste of every aspect, man. And no wonder why you grow up so fast. You're just subjected to everything all at once, man. You gotta wrap your head around it, or you just don't know your way around town. You know? And then everybody knows everybody. That's true. Scary. It's inbred scary. Swear people look like other people, but they're not related either. I guess after 5 years, they thought, you know what, this is the 5th generation people of Georgia. Let's just kind of pretend they're not related so we seem less gross. I don't know. But, you know, I had the most fun, you know. I was always outside chopping down trees for hours with my machete, man, sober. I was 14, man. I had the energy naturally. So I was hanging inside playing games like Diablo with friends, you know. Call of Duty, watching movies, listening to music, Matt Nathanson. Because I didn't have good internet, so we had to listen to what I had, and we just dealt with it. Even Lord was on there. Paramore was a good one, you know. Everybody appreciated that one. Matt Nathanson. It was that time, you know. That was when, you know, my friend was 12, you know. He was going through that time. No, he was about 11, 12. He was going through that time, too, that depressive time in a kid's life, you know. So Matt Nathanson really touched him. Metal. Man, we tried Adderall and Reefer mix, man, the other night. And it was just all throwbacks, man. It was... Man, I want to cry because it totally reminded me of the trailer park, man. That was my favorite place to live. I'm gonna wrap this up soon, man. Man, I'm crying now, man. You know, because he kept saying throwback, throwback. You know, I'm like, what the fuck is this about? You know, and then he's playing all the older bands we would listen to, you know? Shinedown, even. Like, he listens to that rap shit, like... What's that one where it's like... who fuck sings it? It's like... Nowadays, I'm too cool for a girlfriend. Nowadays, I don't know when the world's been. Get how it... I don't know. That was actually a good song. But that's like all the shit he listens to. It's like, I don't mind some of that. Like, that song was great, man. That was chill. That was fire, man. But it was like... That's all. The only genre. Even I listen to punk now, again, metal, even country people. And then bands like Pat the Bunny, Days and Days, Andrew Jackson, dude. People's Second, The Reckoning. But, no, I'll go to, like, The Interrupters, I'll go to Ozzy. You know, I have variety. Then I'll go to different stages of those. Pop punk, you know, crust, death metal, you know, Dr. Hook. I will listen to a variety, man. You know, even Bruno Mars, man. Some songs, not a lot. I don't really listen to Bruno Mars. No, he sucks. Except that monkey song. Find a real nice girl, have some real nice sex. Teachers didn't know that part was in there, really. You know how you listen to a song, it's like you don't know there's that one part. But no, man, it reminded, you know, he was playing, you know, Shinedown. In this moment, you know, he was even open to listening to other songs I said that we used to listen to. It's like he wanted to know what it was like again, you know. You know, those are like the best days of my life, and you know, doing that really reminded me So, drug use, I think, there's a difference between rec use and abuse. Definitely rec use that day, and your mind literally becomes open to remembering and actually realizing what life is about, what it's like to be motivated in life. I'm probably the last guy any girl would want to be with. But you know, I actually do understand life pretty well. And some days I pray I wish I was dead instead of understanding life. I wish I could go back to where I didn't know life and I was just some arrogant fucking bitch. A fucking cunt. You know? But then it's like you appreciate life and it actually helps you calm down. You know, those few minutes of tears, you know, it helps you calm down and embrace life. Like, you know, I feel good. You know, I had a bad month, bad year, I had a bad couple of years. But you know, I'm starting to come out of it now. Still kind of in it deep, but you know, it feels like I can see me coming out of it. I feel great about myself. You know? So for all you people who say, oh, you're only this old, you know, you don't understand, you don't know. And then I start talking to them, and they're like, they just start talking. They don't acknowledge the fact, well, maybe he does get it, actually. You know, they just start talking to me, and I'm like, yeah, man, trust me. I understand more than you think. You know, I grew up fast, really, man. And trust me, I know. You can talk to me, people. I do know more than what you think I know. Like, some people, then they get mad at people. It's like they get super mad and then they get over it in a second, and you're like, I'm not done venting. An Asoderic will understand, you know, if that applies to you. You know, that, you know, I'll go deep, you know. I understand people. I've earned those stars and straps myself, you know. And it's rough, but you know, you walk outside, you light a cigarette, you sip some wine, or do whatever, you know, hold your machete just before you enter the woods, and you just stare into it all. You're like, you know, this is life. You feel the wind on your skin, the air, just the air itself, you feel that on your skin. Nice breeze. Even in a dead wind, just your movements create the wind, you know. You push against it a little, you know, because it's dense now, it's still, it's heavy a little bit. You can feel it more. Then you can feel it more then. Appreciate it more anyway. You know, you feel the grass beneath your feet, you know. Kick your shoes off. Go in those woods barefoot. Me and my friend would go in the woods barefoot all the time. And just with our machetes and chop down trees and stuff, man. For hours. And then we'd light it all, have a big bonfire, man. You know? But people grow up, man. People have dreams they want, you know. I want to be Marine. You know, I want to be stuck in the past. You know, people have dreams, you know, and then, but you're on your own in those dreams, you know. It's like, alright, you got these people now to help you grow, to help you out, man, to achieve your dream, man. And it's like, I'm ready, man. You helped me well, but now I need to show you that I've learned. I need to make this last trip on my own, you know. And it's rough. And I think that's really the type of emotion that gets people who have anxiety issues. Even Wolfenstein has its place in my heart, even though It may not have been if if I was in Connecticut, I probably would have never played it. I was just that. Uh, it was later on in my life. This was while I had a girlfriend, but it was still after a lot of awful stuff happened. But I hung in there, and I was able to appreciate. It was a few years later, mind you, more bad years than good. But it was. If I didn't hold in there, if I didn't hold on, if I didn't hang in there, I would have never appreciated that moment. I waited literally hours for it to load, 3 hours for it to load. We had that bad internet. We were just outside city limits, like a couple yards, man. That was it. And we could have had good cable. Just outside, man. So I literally waited 3 hours just to play it. I stayed up way past my bedtime, man. It was like 11. The one time on my own I stayed up to the AM just drinking Coke Zero, man, and that was all we had. He actually started to like it because that was all you could keep in there because everybody else drunk everything else. So that was my drink, because I liked it. I could tolerate it. Plus it has caffeine, more caffeine and no sugar, unlike that diet shit, which has neither. So it actually kind of keeps you awake. Caffeine doesn't kill your buzz, but I mean, the sugar doesn't kill your buzz as quickly. Your caffeine buzzes quickly because sugar burns faster. And it mixes them together and they burn just as fast. Whatever. Always burns as fast as the fastest. Chain's only as strong as its weakest link, I guess. But no, and we literally took turns and we stayed up, persisting. Like it was Call of Duty when it first came out, playing all night, day. We finally beat it that night together. We literally spent like half an hour on some missions, but we kept going, Appreciate your school years. Those are the years that are slowed down the most. Yes, I know it feels like forever, but appreciate those moments most. Because those are the ones you reflect on, because that was when your time went the slowest. Nowadays, people smoke reefer to slow it down enough for them so they can appreciate it. Me, I wish I appreciated some aspects of my life a little bit more, and I guess that's where a lot of my issues come from. So, Fluffly Waffly, signing out. Appreciate these years, people. You only get one life. Great day or not, the choice is yours.